Thank you. Thank you very much, and very good morning to all of you. And as you mentioned, introduced me, I'm from Zayed University in Dubai. So when the morning when they asked about coming from certain parts of the world, I think from the Middle East region or Gulf Cooperation Council countries, I think I'm the only one here. You see the two campuses of Zayed University over there. We have one in Dubai and one in Abu Dhabi. On the right side is where I work, the Dubai campus. It's becoming very popular. I could see the last 20 years or 10 years, everyone seems to know about Dubai, but the country is the United Arab Emirates, and Abu Dhabi is the capital city. Just some background about the university. It was created in '98 only for female students. So for almost up to 2010, we had no male students permitted to be on campus or to study. And then 2010 onwards, it went into mixed gender. But Dubai is still, they tried the experiment, but we are still now a female campus as of now. So most of my 18 years, I've been there for 18 years. It started in '98, I joined in 2004. I think I was teaching only female Emirati students, locals. Just to give you some other demographic, United Arab Emirates like Qatar and a few other countries, expatriates, foreigners are the majority of the people living there. So we are 86% and the locals are only 14%. And we are teaching local students over there. Based on that, the challenge I found that unlike Western students, prior to coming to Zayed University, I worked in Melbourne, Australia. I come from India, migrated to Australia, then now in Dubai. And I taught for about 4 years in Australia. I spent many years in industry, and that's why I'm very big on experiential learning, bridging the gap between industry and university. The challenge I found, my students in Australia, undergraduate, had some part-time work, whether it's McDonald's or Burger King or some supermarket. So I could tell them something about customer behavior. But with Zayed University, these students are straight from year 12. They don't go to industry. They come to class and they go back home, protected a lot. And so hence, I found that the only way I could do it is through tying up with industry. And for the last 14 years at least, the model worked very well. And now I find that previously I used to go and chase industry. After about 6 or 8 years, I find that industry comes to my class trying to build assignments with my students. So my outline today is I'll talk about some of these organizations. I'll share something what we do. And finally, I'm trying to build this up into a research project. So I'm trying to look at some models of using it for experiential learning. So I'll just, so I already said that students don't get an opportunity to work. Hence, experiential teaching and learning creates this engaging environment. And it's very motivating rather than boring theory, and students are quite appreciative of me bringing the industry to the classroom. So this is what I try to do, bring industry to the classroom and take the classroom to industry. Before COVID, for 3 years, we couldn't go to industry, but usually I used to also take them on industry visits to the company. And I can do this only with higher level courses, year 3 and year 4, because the class size is smaller and they are ready to go out to the real world. So I teach brand management, innovation management, and integrated marketing communication. I do this only with these 3 courses, not with any introductory course, because the size of the class is large and the students are not yet ready to do assignments for industry. So for example, these are some of the companies that I've worked with, the entire range of L'Oreal. So we worked with Garnier, Lancome, L'Oreal. Warner Brothers was launched in Abu Dhabi as a theme park. And my students, along with the Abu Dhabi class, did the major assignment for the promotional campaign for Warner Brothers 6 months before they came. And they used at least 2 of our groups. The actual ideas came from students. People ask me about copyright. That's sold off. We don't even bother about that. The main goal is for students to learn from industry, and industry now to learn from students. The Ministry of Finance, this was very surprising. For the first time about 4 years or 6 years ago, we had taxes in the UAE. There is no taxes over there. We still don't pay income tax, but we pay sales tax. So the Ministry of Finance actually came to my group, my students, and asked them to create an advertising campaign to promote taxes in the UAE. Procter and Gamble, a brand management company called Emblem, Emirates Airlines also, we did 2 assignments, or the brand management company did an assignment for Emirates, and they invited some senior people from Emirates to come and see the presentations. And we were very fortunate to be invited by the Emirates Down Syndrome Association to make a integrated marketing communication program for them and their annual, the annual conference that they have over there. So these are some of the companies we did some work with, very familiar with the L'Oreal Group. They've been very supportive of my classes over there. So some of the assignments, the theme is play the role of the brand manager at Emblem. This is a brand management company, a New York-based company with a very big office in Dubai. And the client was Emirates Airlines. So in fact, the new campaign of Emirates is Fly Better. And we never knew about this when my students were making this assignment. And one group actually put a tagline called Fly Safer. And the Emirates person was in the room and was like a smirkish smile. And then after that, he said, just wait for 2 more months. You'll know the tagline. So it's actually now the tagline is Fly Better for Emirates. They changed the campaign a few weeks later. They developed a plan for Emblem, for Emirates. My students developed an IMC plan for the launch of Warner Brothers World in Abu Dhabi. And these are some of the work they've been doing for the last 10 or 12 years. So I thought I'm doing all of this. I never really considered doing a research project. And last year, there was a competitive grant in my university. And so I also put in a proposal, and I was lucky to get a bit of money. And so it's a 1.5, 2-year grant. So this is my first initial stages of trying to build up, and maybe now I'm presenting it in the conference and maybe write a journal paper and see where it goes. And so I'm talking to my students. So these are some models, I would say, using Holmes model, where I'm looking, yeah, they got some concrete experience through field trips. They've done hands-on assignments. What I'm now haven't done is this reflective observation, which now I'm starting to do. I'm going to industry. I already am working with I'm wanting to get all the companies who my students work with and ask them. And I want to also talk to the companies where they've done the internship and also where they are working to find out, because I'm getting this feeling that my students come back and tell me, guess what, when we went for the interview, nothing was asked about what you've learned. But the moment we put on the CV that we've done IMC program for Warner Brothers, the people interviewing them straight away said, tell us about it. And then the 10-minute interview becomes half an hour. And then the feeling I'm getting is that they're getting the job, or they are getting highly appreciated because they've done some work, unusually in this part of the world, that they've done some work with industry. So that made me think of this could be interesting to find out what industry thinks about my 12-year work on industry assignments. And it's very serious. Just to give you an idea, the assignments are 40%, which is a lot of mark. And industry and me sit down, Piaget, I think that's how you pronounce it. They've come to me now, and we are sitting down. When I go back in August or July, we're already building up the assignment for the brand management course. And I tell them it's very serious, these assignments. You have to come as a guest speaker twice at least. You have to present the assignment along with me. You have to be there at least 2 more times or 3 more times to come and listen to my students presenting. And you have to help me. You don't have to give the grades, but you have to tell me this group is number 1, this group is number 2, and so on and so forth. And I tell this to my students also because some of them are very challenged that they are going to present for the first time to outsiders. And so I tell them that when you come to my course, you have to be prepared to do this. These are senior executives. The Lancome head of branding for Middle East, North Africa, came for all our presentations, about 8 presentations. It was during COVID, so we had to do it on Zoom. But she was there for all the presentations. And she thanked us and said she learned something from so just some initial finding. This is from students. It helped me after graduating when I went to do my interview. These are some quotes I put over there. Gave me better position than other candidates. Nice thing that we chose something that we are interested in. They chose the Gucci brand, and they get very passionate about Gucci, and they done it for emblem. My friends and my family, they were all interested. This is truly amazing. They come back and they say we're having dinner with the father, mother, and we are debating, arguing, discussing your assignment. So in some form, the family is getting involved tremendously in their studies. And these are sometimes their dads are very top business people in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and they are saying they're sort of probably even challenging how their dad does business. We don't rely on textbooks so much, although we have some models. We explore new things and new concepts. So these are some of the last semester's brands that they looked at using emblems model: Red Bull, Gucci, Rooh Afza, which is a Pakistan brand. During Ramadan time, this is often taken just after breaking the fast. It's a very popular brand for Pakistan and India. So these are some other findings. Yeah, my family were also very interested. They became engaged in my project, and they are chipping in and giving some input to what their daughters are doing. And when I talked to my friend that they were doing their CVs, they were very surprised that my CV already had some work that I did with IKEA or with Spotify or so on. So, and I keep this. I always tell industry, give us some feedback. So I keep these letters and every student gets a certificate. I tell industry that I want you to create a certificate for my students because that's part of their CV. So they get a certificate from Garnier or L'Oreal or so on and so forth. That's the Procter & Gamble, the Emirates Down syndrome people over there. These are some notes I get from students, and from, of course, Warner Brothers people over there. And of course, I tried to put them in the newsletter of the College of Business. That's where I work with. I put their photographs also, but I don't want to show the photographs here. But it's an internal one, the newsletter of the university. So I get all this interesting feedback from them. So this is some feedback I get from the students, and they thank me for it. They say that, and sometimes they come back. The good thing about it is one of the quote over there. I proposed an idea to my HR, and now these students go to industry and they come back to me. The Ministry of Finance one was, she came back to me and she said, I was your student. I'm now the marketing person at the Ministry of Finance. I want to do this with your students now. So it's a sort of a snowballing, interesting interactions we have. And so that's
okay.
it.
Do you have any questions, comments?